Hey, Josh the Balloon Guy here. And yesterday, while I was at the visually impaired egg hunt, I got an interesting request and one that I was like, I've never done that before. Let's give it a try. And so, if you're familiar at all with the game of Minecraft, there is a creature on there called the Enderman. Um, and from this Enderman, you get Ender pearls, and you can like throw them and move faster. And if you do it too much, it can cause damage. But you also use those Ender pearls to get to the end. Um, and the Endermen, I guess, are kind of seen as being the ones who built the world because they're always moving blocks. And so that's one of their key things. So this is going to be very simple as far as the main design, and it's going to use two black 260s and a black 5-inch round. But then we're going to add a little fun to it here. And I forgot my markers, but that's okay. So both of the black 260s we're going to blow up, leaving about a hand and a half, maybe a little more uninflated. Okay. And just kind of squeeze them so they're soft. Now, there may be other interpretations that make it a little more square, because that's one of the things about Minecraft, is that everything in there is kind of square. But this was the interpretation I came up with. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of fold this in half. We can still adjust here shortly. But see how the nozzle end is a little bit longer than the tail end, because when we find the middle of that and make two pinch twists, it does push some air, and see now they're almost even again. In fact, maybe the tail end's a little bit longer than the nozzle end. And we're gonna do that to both of the 260s. Actually, to make sure that I'm doing this right, let's find the middle. All right. Twist, pinch twist, pinch twist. All right, and then match up. All right. Now, very similar to like the superhero bodies, the basic superhero bodies, we're going to combine these two. But I'm only going to do it to about 5 fingers. And it doesn't even have to be that precise. I'm going to twist one pinch twist and one set of pinch twists into the other balloon. And then I'm going to do that again on the other side. Okay. And see, even doing that has pushed a little more air into the tail end. So I'm going to twist off, tear off, and tie off. Twist off, tear off, and tie off. And I'm going to save that end here. All right, go ahead and position the leg pinch twists so that they're in the middle of the legs, and the legs kind of just go down and just point down. The arms are going to point out, and we'll do something about those here in just a moment. I'll do something with those. So I'm going to take my black 5-inch round, blow it up about grapefruit, maybe softball size. Now you could leave this round. Again, I'm going to manipulate it because everything is kind of square. Not kind of square. Everything is square in Minecraft. Matter of fact, it's built on a system of 1 meter cubes. All right. And so I'm going to do a tulip twist, and then using that black scrap, go ahead and tie that off. And then attach that to my top set of pinch twists. Wrapping it around a couple of times and even tucking the excess back into the body. Now, if I had my markers with me and I hadn't left them in my truck for the next job that I've got, I would actually take and draw on some just purple square eyes. In this case, we're just going to have to imagine the square eye, the eyes on the Enderman here. But the next step, so we're going to set him aside because he's technically done. Technically done. But to add a little flair to it, I'm going to take two 260s, or you can do this with 160 if you want it smaller. Only going to inflate it about 2 hand widths. And that's true for both of them. Okay, and then we're going to do a series of small bubbles. So it's about a 2-finger bubble, and then a 1-finger pinch twist. All right. So we have a 1-finger bubble, we have a pinch twist. Then we're going to make a square using 2-finger bubbles and a pinch twist. I said 1-finger, 2-finger bubbles and pinch twists. All right, so I've got 4 pinch twists. The 4th side of this square, yes, because this needs to stay separate. The 4th side of this square, bring it in to the first pinch twist. So now you have a square with a little knob sticking up. Bring the tail of the balloon across the top, make another small bubble, go crisscross, catty corner, and then make one more 2-finger bubble on the other side, tear off, and tie off. And so we end up with a filled square that has 2 bubbles coming off of it. I'm going to do that one more time to the brown here. That was the exact same process on the brown balloon. Finishing my tie off here. Reposition those bubbles so they're both pointing in the same direction. And then I'm going to take the green bubbles, go to the opposite corner, and make a cube. And if you've ever played Minecraft, if you've seen your kids play Minecraft, you'll notice that this is a grass-covered dirt block. The most common item seen carried by the Enderman. And then we're going to go back to our Enderman here and just take the little tail areas left by the nozzle and the torn off tail on the hand. Wrap those in, give it just a little squeeze, and there you have your Enderman carrying a grassy dirt block. All right. As always, keep practicing, and I'll see you next time.